All right, diving into the world of crypto today, specifically Algorand. Have you heard of this one?
Yeah, it's getting a lot of attention, and for good reason too, I think.
Yeah, so we're gonna like break it down for like total beginners. Some people listening might be like, crypto what?
Exactly, yeah, like starting from scratch, basically.
Yeah. So what is Algorand in like the simplest terms?
Okay, so Algorand is a blockchain network,
Okay.
and it's decentralized, which we can get into what all that means.
Yeah.
But basically, the goal is to offer a way to make all kinds of applications, but in a secure and efficient and scalable way. So it's all about making transactions and applications work really well.
So we're not just talking about like buying and selling Algorand. We're talking about like building stuff on Algorand.
Exactly, yeah, like it's a platform for building all sorts of things.
Okay, got it. And so like just to paint a picture for people, what are some problems that Algorand is trying to solve? Like why does this even exist?
Um, well, I mean, one way to think about it is to compare it to Bitcoin.
Okay, everyone's heard of Bitcoin.
Right, Bitcoin was like the first one, right, the OG cryptocurrency.
But
But it has its limitations. Like the original Bitcoin system has this thing called proof of work,
proof of work, okay.
which to make it simple, it just takes a ton of computing power. It's
Yeah.
very energy intensive, so that can make things slow and expensive, and it's not great for the environment.
So not very eco-friendly.
No, not really. So Algorand is trying to be like a more efficient, newer version.
Okay, so it's kind of like if Bitcoin is like, I don't know, the first car,
Okay.
Algorand is like a Tesla.
I like that analogy. Yeah. Like sleek and fast and
Yeah,
efficient.
yeah. So is speed like the main thing that Algorand is good at?
Well, speed is a big one. Yeah. Like Bitcoin transactions can sometimes take hours.
Hours.
Really?
Yeah.
And Algorand can do thousands per second.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like way faster.
Yeah. Way faster. And that makes it much more useful for all sorts of things.
Okay, that makes sense. But like, why is Bitcoin so slow? Did they just not have good programmers back then?
It's not about the programmers. It's more about the fundamental technology.
Okay.
So that proof of work system that I mentioned, it just requires a lot of computing power to solve complex math problems. So it's just inherently slow and energy hungry.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So what does Algorand do differently to make it faster?
Well, it uses a different system called pure proof of stake, or PPoS for short.
PPoS. Okay. Another acronym.
Yeah, crypto loves its acronyms.
All right, so break down PPoS for me.
Okay, so imagine, let's say you and your friends are trying to decide what pizza to order.
Okay.
With proof of work, it'd be like everyone has to do a bunch of push-ups to earn's right to vote.
Okay.
And whoever does the most push-ups gets to decide.
Okay.
But with PPoS, it's more like everyone gets voting power based on how much ALGO they hold, which is Algorand's cryptocurrency.
Oh, so it's like if I own more ALGO, I get a bigger say.
Kind of, yeah. It's not just about how much you hold, though. It also takes into account how long you've been holding it.
Oh, okay. So it's not just like the richest person gets to decide everything.
Exactly. It's designed to be more fair and balanced, so everyone has a chance to participate.
Okay, I like that. So PPoS makes it faster and more eco-friendly.
Yeah, basically, it's like comparing a bicycle to a Hummer in terms of energy use.
Nice. Okay, but what about security? Is Algorand safe?
Yeah, that's obviously super important. And Algorand takes security really seriously. They use something called Byzantine Agreement.
Byzantine Agreement. Wow, that sounds intense.
It is a kind of a complicated concept, but to put it simply, it's a way to make sure that everyone on the network agrees on the same transaction history.
Okay.
Even if some of the participants are trying to cheat or be malicious.
So like even if there are bad guys trying to mess things up.
Right, exactly. It's like having a system in place that prevents anyone from rigging the system.
Okay, that makes sense. So Byzantine Agreement keeps things secure?
Yep, it's one of the key things that makes Algorand so reliable.
Cool. All right, so we've got PPS for speed and efficiency and Byzantine Agreement for security. Anything else that makes Algorand stand out?
Yeah, so another cool thing is that Algorand has a two-tiered architecture.
Two tiers, what's that mean?
Think of it like a highway with a fast lane and a slow lane.
Okay.
Simple transactions like sending Algorand to a friend can go in the fast lane,
Yeah.
keeping things speedy and cheap. And then more complex things like building those decentralized applications we were talking about,
Yeah.
they can take the slow lane without clogging up the whole network.
So it's like a well-organized traffic system.
Exactly. It's all about keeping things running smoothly.
This is fascinating stuff, but I have to admit, it's a lot to take in.
It is. It's a whole new world, but that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And we're just getting started.
Exactly. We're just scratching the surface.
All right, so for someone who's like totally new to crypto, it can be a bit overwhelming.
I hear you. It's a lot of new concepts and terminology, but that's why we're taking it slow.
Yeah.
Breaking it down step by step.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those details then.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.
So you mentioned earlier, like, building applications on Algorand. Like, what kinds of apps are we talking about?
Yeah, so Algorand is a platform for building something called decentralized applications, or dApps.
dApps, okay. Another crypto term.
Right, another one for the glossary.
So what makes dApps different from, like, the apps I use every day, like Facebook or Spotify?
Well, think about it. Those apps are all controlled by a single company, right?
Yeah.
Facebook owns Facebook, Spotify being Spotify.
Makes sense?
With dApps, there's no central authority. They run on a blockchain, like Algorand,
Okay.
which means they're more transparent and secure because everyone on the network has a copy of the code.
Oh, so it's like the app is owned by everyone who uses it.
Kind of, yeah, that's the idea. It's more distributed.
Okay. And that makes it more secure. How?
Well, because it's not all reliant on one company. If one part of the network goes down, the app can still keep running.
Oh, interesting. So it's like more resilient?
Exactly. And it's also harder for hackers to attack because they have to attack the entire network, not just one central point.
Okay. That makes sense. So what kinds of things can you do with dApps that you can't do with regular apps?
All sorts of things. One of the most exciting areas is DeFi.
DeFi.
Yeah, decentralized finance.
Okay.
It's basically like rebuilding the entire financial system on a blockchain.
Whoa. Hold on. Rebuilding the whole financial system. That sounds pretty ambitious.
It is, but the potential is huge. Think about it. What if you could borrow money, lend money, trade stocks, all without going through a bank?
No more dealing with banks. I kind of like the sound of that.
Right. It could make things a lot more efficient and accessible. And because it's all powered by blockchain, it's more transparent. You can see exactly where your money is going and how it's being used.
Okay. That's pretty cool. But is DeFi, like, actually a thing right now, or is it just a futuristic idea?
It's happening. It's still early days, but it's growing rapidly.
Really?
Yeah, there are already dApps on Algorand that let you lend and borrow crypto trade digital assets, even earn interest on your savings.
Earn interest on crypto. Okay, now you've got my attention.
Right. There are all sorts of new possibilities with DeFi. It's a whole new world of finance.
So what about those digital collectibles? Everyone's talking about NFTs.
NFTs. Yeah, Algorand is a great platform for NFTs too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember how we talked about dApps being more transparent and secure?
Yeah.
That's really important for NFTs because it helps prevent fraud and counterfeiting.
So no more fake artwork or stolen collectibles.
Exactly. Every NFT on Algorand is unique and verifiable, so you know you're getting the real deal.
Okay, so Algorand can be used for dApps, DeFi, NFTs. It seems like it can do a lot.
Yeah, it's a very versatile platform. It's not just about buying and selling Algorand, the cryptocurrency. It's about building all sorts of new applications and possibilities.
So why isn't everyone using Algorand then? What's holding it back?
Well, like any new technology, it takes time for adoption to grow.
Yeah.
Algorand is still relatively young compared to some other blockchains out there,
Okay.
but it's gaining momentum quickly.
Why is that? What's driving that momentum?
I think it's a combination of factors. The technology itself is impressive. It's fast, efficient, and secure.
We talked about all that.
Right. But Algorand also has a strong team behind it,
Okay.
led by a brilliant computer scientist named Silvio Micali.
Silvio Micali. I've heard that name before. He's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah, he's a legend. He won the Turing Award, which is like the Nobel Prize for computer science.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't just some random project. There's serious brain power behind it.
Exactly. Silvio has really brought a lot of credibility and expertise to the project.
Okay, so we've got the tech and the team. But you mentioned competition earlier. What are some of the other blockchains that Algorand is up against?
One of the biggest is Ethereum.
Ethereum? Yeah, I've definitely heard of that one.
Right. It's the most popular platform for building dApps right now.
Okay.
But Ethereum has been struggling with high transaction fees and slow speeds.
Ah, so Algorand is trying to be like the faster, cheaper alternative.
Exactly. And then there's Cardano, another blockchain that's focused on building a more sustainable and equitable financial system.
Cardano. Yeah, they seem to be getting a lot of buzz too.
They are. They're both really interesting projects with a lot of potential.
So how do they compare to Algorand? What are their strengths and weaknesses?
Well, Algorand's generally considered to be faster and more efficient in terms of transaction speeds and fees.
Okay, so in the speed race, Algorand is ahead.
For now, yeah. But Cardano has a strong emphasis on peer-reviewed research and development.
Okay.
So they're very careful and methodical in their approach. They want to build a blockchain that's incredibly secure and reliable.
So it's like the slow and steady approach versus the agile and innovative one.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Ultimately, it comes down to what you prioritize in a blockchain. If speed and efficiency are your main concerns, Algorand might be a better choice. But if you value security and a long-term vision, Cardano could be more appealing.
Okay, so it's a battle of the blockchains. But for someone who's new to all this, how do you even know where to start?
It can be overwhelming. There's so much information out there. But the good news is there are tons of resources available to help you learn and explore.
Like what? Give me some pointers. Where should I go to start my crypto adventure? Okay, so much to learn. But this has been super helpful. Can we try to, like, connect all the dots? So we've talked about PPoS, Byzantine Agreement, dApps, DeFi NFTs. Like, how does it all fit together? What makes Algorand Algorand?
Right. So think of Algorand as like a foundation, a
Okay.
platform for building this more decentralized and efficient future.
Okay.
And PPoS and Byzantine Agreement, those are like the building blocks
Mm-hmm.
that make that platform secure and efficient. Then you have dApps and DeFi, and those are like the tools and applications
Yeah.
that people can build on top of that foundation.
Gotcha.
And they use those unique features of Algorand to create new innovative solutions.
So it's not just about, like, buying and selling algo. It's bigger than that.
Exactly. It's about all these other possibilities that Algorand unlocks.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's like having a smartphone,
Okay.
but only using it to make phone calls.
Right. You're missing out on all the other amazing things it can do.
Exactly. So Algorand is trying to change the game, not just for crypto, but like for the whole way we think about finance and technology.
Yeah, that's the big idea.
Wow. Okay. So what are the chances that this actually works? Like, it seems like a pretty ambitious goal.
It is ambitious, and there are no guarantees in the crypto world.
Right. Of course.
But what's exciting about Algorand is that they're not just talking about it, they're actually building it.
Yeah.
They have a strong team, a growing community, and a clear roadmap for the future.
Okay. So there's real momentum.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about the risks? Like, are there any potential downsides or challenges that they need to overcome?
Sure, like with any new technology, there are always challenges.
Yeah.
One thing is that Algorand is still relatively small
Okay.
compared to some of the giants in the crypto space, like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Right. So it's like David versus Goliath.
Kind of, but remember, David won that fight.
That's true. That's true. So what can Algorand do to compete?
Well, they have some key advantages, like speed efficiency and a commitment to sustainability.
Okay. Those are good things.
Yeah, and they also have a really strong community that's passionate about the project.
Okay. So if someone listening to this wants to learn more about Algorand, maybe even invest in Algo, where should they go?
The Algorand Foundation website is a great place to start.
Okay.
They have tons of information about the technology, the team, the ecosystem. There are also a lot of great articles and podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated to Algorand.
So just like Google Algorand.
Pretty much, yeah. And you can also find Algorand on social media like Twitter, Reddit, Telegram. Those are good places to connect with other people who are interested in Algorand.
Cool. All right. So before we wrap up, any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, I'd just say think about the potential impact that Algorand could have.
Okay.
If they can achieve their goal of creating a truly borderless and efficient financial system, how could that change the world?
Wow. Yeah, that's a big question.
It is, but it's an exciting one to think about.
For sure. Well, we've taken a deep dive into Algorand, a cryptocurrency that's aiming to be much more than just another digital coin. It's a platform for innovation, a tool for empowerment, and a glimpse into a future where finance is more accessible, efficient, and sustainable.
I think that's a great way to sum it up.
So keep exploring, stay curious, and maybe you'll be the one building the next big thing on Algorand. Until next time, happy diving.